Do you wake up every night between 2 and 4 a.m. and then find yourself tossing and turning, staring at the ceiling, unable to fall back asleep? Maybe you have already tried everything: calming teas, melatonin, turning off your phone earlier, creating a bedtime routine. But even so, you still wake up in the middle of the night. What if I told you that the problem may not be anxiety, stress, or simply getting older? There is an essential mineral that plays a direct role in how your nervous system functions during sleep, and it may be lacking in your body, especially after the age of 50. And when this happens, the brain simply struggles to enter and remain in deep, restorative sleep. In this video, you will discover why this happens and how a simple change can completely transform the quality of your nights. Welcome to the Healthy Naturally channel. Our mission here is to bring you science-based information to help you take care of your health in a simple, natural, and practical way. Our goal is to show you how small changes in your diet, daily habits, and lifestyle can make a major difference in your quality of life. If you enjoy content about health, nutrition, and wellness, take a moment now to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. That way, you will not miss any of our upcoming videos. And be sure to leave a like, because it helps YouTube recommend this content to more people who are also struggling with poor sleep. If you know someone who wakes up in the middle of the night and has trouble sleeping again, share this video with them on WhatsApp. This information could make a meaningful difference in that person's life. Now, let's understand why so many people wake up between 2 and 4 a.m. and what may be happening inside the body while they sleep. But before I explain what is really happening inside your body during the night, I want to share a simple tip that you can put into practice today. It is not a miracle solution by itself, but it can be an excellent first step toward improving your sleep quality. About 30 minutes before going to bed, try eating a small banana with 1 tablespoon of peanut butter or even a small handful of peanuts without excessive salt or added sugar. It may seem like a very simple combination, but it provides important nutrients involved in the body's natural sleep process. Bananas are a source of tryptophan, an amino acid that the body uses to produce serotonin and, later, melatonin, the hormone known for helping regulate the sleep cycle. Peanuts also contain tryptophan and provide magnesium, an essential mineral that supports nervous system function and muscle relaxation. When these nutrients are part of a balanced diet, they may help create a more favorable environment for the body to naturally relax before bedtime. But pay attention. This combination alone is unlikely to solve the problem if there is a significant magnesium deficiency in the body. It is only a first step. In the next few minutes, you will understand why this mineral is so important for the brain during sleep and why so many people continue waking up in the middle of the night even though they believe they're doing everything right. Now that you know this simple tip, we need to understand what actually happens inside your brain while you sleep. This is exactly where many people discover why they continue waking up in the middle of the night, even when they're doing everything they think they should be doing. Imagine that your brain is like a large office operating during the day. Thousands of employees are working at the same time. They receive information, solve problems, make decisions, process emotions, and keep your entire body functioning. It is an intense activity that requires a tremendous amount of energy. When night arrives, this office needs to close for the day. The lights need to be turned off, the computers need to shut down, and all the employees need to leave so the brain can enter a state of deep rest and begin the body's recovery processes. This is when magnesium plays a crucial role. Imagine magnesium as the security guard responsible for closing the building. It walks through every room, checks that everything is in order, and makes sure the workday has truly ended. When this process works properly, the brain slows down, the body relaxes, and deep sleep happens naturally. But when there is a magnesium deficiency, it is as if this security guard simply does not show up for work. The lights remain on. Some employees continue walking through the hallways. Others are still trying to solve unfinished tasks, and the brain never completely shuts down. That is why many people can fall asleep normally, but wake up between 2 and 4 a.m. with a racing mind, as if someone suddenly flipped a switch. They do not understand why it is happening. They try to fall asleep again, and they spend minutes, sometimes even hours, tossing and turning in bed. In many cases, This does not happen simply because a person is anxious or because they're getting older. It can happen because the nervous system was unable to complete its natural process of slowing down during the night. And there is another very interesting detail. This is not the only job magnesium performs while you sleep. In the next few minutes, you will discover how this mineral also participates in the activity of important brain chemicals that control relaxation and stress hormones, and why this makes such a significant difference in sleep quality. Now, you may be asking yourself, if magnesium is so important, why do so many people have a deficiency of this mineral? The answer is surprising. In reality, several everyday habits can lower magnesium levels in the body without a person even realizing it. Let's start with coffee. Many people cannot go without their morning cup of coffee and sometimes have another one after lunch or even later in the afternoon. The problem is that excessive caffeine consumption may increase the elimination of magnesium through the kidneys. This means that while you continue drinking coffee every day, your body may be losing this mineral faster than it can replace it. The same can happen with frequent alcohol consumption. Alcohol interferes with the balance of several vitamins and minerals and can also contribute to greater magnesium loss, especially when consumption is regular. Another major factor is stress. Whenever we go through situations involving tension, worry, or anxiety, our body enters a state of alert and uses more magnesium in various metabolic processes. The problem is that when stress becomes part of our daily routine, this increased demand continues over time, making it more difficult for the body to properly maintain adequate levels of this mineral. Some medications also deserve attention. Diuretics, which are often used to reduce fluid retention, and some medications for blood pressure control may increase magnesium loss through urine. This does not mean that these medications should be stopped, but it is important to understand that they may contribute to lower levels of this mineral over time. Any questions regarding medications should always be discussed with the doctor responsible for your treatment. In addition, there's another factor that few people know about: the soil where our food is grown. After decades of intensive farming, many agricultural areas contain fewer minerals than they did in the past. As a result, fruits, vegetables, and other plant foods may contain lower levels of magnesium than they did several decades ago. And then there is modern eating. Today, it is very common to consume ultra-processed, refined, and industrialized foods, which generally contain much less magnesium than whole foods, seeds, nuts, and leafy green vegetables. Over time, this eating pattern can cause daily magnesium intake to fall below what the body needs. When all of these factors come together, excessive coffee consumption, alcohol, stress, certain medications, a diet low in natural foods, and soil with fewer minerals, it becomes much easier to understand why so many people have low magnesium levels without even realizing that this could be affecting the quality of their sleep. But there's an even more important point. Magnesium does not improve sleep simply because it is present in the body. It directly participates in the function of two essential mechanisms in the brain that control relaxation and the natural sleep cycle. And that is exactly what we are going to understand now. Now we have reached the most important part of this entire video. After all, how exactly does magnesium help someone sleep better? The answer lies in two fundamental mechanisms that take place inside the brain every night. The first involves a neurotransmitter called GABA, and the second is related to cortisol, which is known as the stress hormone. Let's start with GABA. Imagine that the brain works like a car traveling at high speed throughout the day. You work, solve problems, talk to people, make decisions, and process a huge amount of information. In order to achieve deep, restorative sleep, this car needs to gradually slow down until it comes to a complete stop. And this is exactly where GABA comes in. GABA is considered the brain's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter. In other words, it works like the brain's natural braking system. Its role is to reduce the activity of nerve cells, calming mental activity, and preparing the body for rest. Magnesium contributes to this process by helping the nervous system function in a more balanced way. When magnesium levels are adequate, the brain can slow down more easily, supporting the relaxation needed to fall asleep and stay asleep. But when there is a magnesium deficiency, this process can become impaired. It is like trying to slow down a car whose braking system is not working properly. A person may feel sleepy and even be able to fall asleep, but the brain continues to remain excessively active. That is why many people wake up in the middle of the night with the feeling that their mind simply will not stop thinking. The body is tired, but the brain remains in a state of alertness. And this leads us to the second mechanism, cortisol. Cortisol is an essential hormone for life. In the morning, cortisol levels naturally increase to help the body wake up and begin the activities of the day. As night approaches, this hormone should gradually decrease, allowing the body to enter a state of relaxation. However, when this natural rhythm becomes disrupted, especially in people who live under constant stress or have low magnesium levels, cortisol may remain elevated precisely at the time when it should be decreasing. The result is a body that continues operating in a state of vigilance. The person lies down, closes their eyes, but the brain continues working as if it were still daytime. That is why magnesium is so important. It participates in processes that support nervous system balance and help the body enter the proper state needed for restorative sleep. But has all of this actually been studied by science? That is exactly what we're going to discover now. When we talk about health, it is always important to ask, what do the studies show? Several studies have investigated the relationship between magnesium and sleep quality, especially in people who suffered from insomnia or had low levels of this mineral. One of the most well-known studies followed adults with insomnia who took magnesium supplementation for 8 weeks. At the end of this period, researchers observed some very interesting results. Participants were able to fall asleep faster, experienced fewer awakenings throughout the night, and reported a significant improvement in their sleep quality. Many also described feeling more rested when they woke up in the morning. It is important to remember that these results were observed within a research setting and do not mean that magnesium will work the same way for everyone. The response can vary depending on factors such as diet, health status, medication use, and whether or not a person actually has a magnesium deficiency. Even so, these findings help explain why magnesium has gained so much attention among researchers and healthcare professionals when it comes to sleep quality. But there is one detail that makes all the difference. Many people say they took magnesium and did not notice any improvement. In many cases, the problem is not the mineral itself, but rather the form that was used. And this is where many people unknowingly make a mistake. When you go to a pharmacy or search for supplements online, you'll find many different options: magnesium oxide, magnesium chloride, citrate, malate, threonate, glycinate, and many others. However, when the goal is to support relaxation and improve sleep quality, one of the most commonly used forms is magnesium glycinate. Let's understand why. Magnesium oxide is usually one of the least expensive forms, and for this reason, it is often found in multivitamin supplements. However, its absorption by the body is relatively low compared to other forms. This means that a significant portion of the mineral may not actually be utilized by the body. Magnesium glycinate, on the other hand, is created by combining magnesium with an amino acid called glycine. This combination improves intestinal absorption and makes it easier for the body to use the mineral. In addition, glycine itself is involved in processes related to relaxation and sleep, making this combination especially interesting for people looking to improve the quality of their nighttime rest. It is as if two components are working together toward the same goal. Magnesium supports normal nervous system function, while glycine is also involved in mechanisms related to relaxation. However, there is one detail that many people do not know. Some everyday habits can reduce the effectiveness of supplementation. Excessive calcium intake at the same time, frequent caffeine consumption late in the afternoon, and chronic stress can interfere with magnesium balance in the body. That is why it is not enough to simply choose a good supplement. It is also important to understand the best time to take it, the dosage commonly used in studies, and how to use it correctly to get the best possible results. What precautions should be considered to increase the chances of achieving good results? That is exactly what we are going to discuss in the next section. Now that you know one of the most commonly used forms of magnesium when it comes to sleep quality, there is another detail that can make all the difference. Many people buy a supplement, start taking it, and after a few days conclude that it doesn't work. But in reality, the problem may be related to certain habits that end up reducing its effectiveness. The first one is taking excessive amounts of calcium at the same time as magnesium supplementation. Calcium is an extremely important mineral for bone health, muscle function, and many other processes in the body. However, when consumed together with magnesium in large amounts, these two minerals may compete for intestinal absorption. For this reason, if you take calcium supplements, it is worth discussing the best timing for each one with your doctor or nutritionist. In many cases, it is recommended to leave a few hours between taking them. Another very common habit is drinking coffee late in the afternoon or early in the evening. Many people believe that just one cup will not make a difference, but caffeine can remain in the body for several hours. In addition to making relaxation more difficult, it may also increase magnesium loss through the kidneys. This means that the coffee you drink after lunch or at the end of your workday could be interfering not only with your sleep, but also with your body's magnesium balance. Chronic stress also deserves attention. When we are constantly worried, under pressure, or dealing with daily challenges, the body remains in a state of alert for much longer periods. This process increases the body's demand for magnesium and makes it more difficult to restore adequate levels. It is like trying to fill a tank while there is a constant leak. No matter how much water you add, part of it continues to disappear. Diet also makes a difference. People who consume few leafy green vegetables, seeds, nuts, legumes, and whole foods tend to naturally consume less magnesium. At the same time, a diet high in ultra-processed foods provides very little of this mineral, making it even harder to meet daily needs. And there is one final mistake that few people talk about: expecting immediate results. Some people take magnesium for only 2 or 3 days and expect to sleep deeply from the very first night. But magnesium does not work like a sedative medication. Its role is to help the body restore a balance that may have been disrupted over months or even years. That is why consistency is much more important than speed. Now, another important question comes up. After all, what is the correct way to use this supplement? This is one of the most common questions among people who decide to begin supplementation. According to the information we are analyzing, one of the dosage ranges most commonly used in studies related to sleep quality is between 200 and 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate per day. A common approach is to start with 200 milligrams daily and observe how your body responds during the first few weeks. If there is no improvement and there are no individual contraindications, the dosage can be adjusted with guidance from a healthcare professional. Timing also makes a difference. Ideally, the supplement should be taken between 30 minutes and 1 hour before bedtime. This window gives the body enough time to absorb the magnesium before sleep begins. Another important tip is to avoid taking the supplement on an empty stomach, especially if you tend to experience stomach sensitivity. Having a light snack may make this moment more comfortable. Remember the combination we mentioned at the beginning of the video? A small banana with a little peanut butter or a handful of peanuts can be a simple option to accompany your supplementation. Another point that deserves emphasis is patience. Magnesium usually does not produce immediate effects like some sleep medications. Its benefits depend on consistent use and the time required for the body to restore adequate levels. For this reason, many people only begin noticing changes after several weeks of continuous use. In addition, maintaining healthy sleep habits remains essential. Going to bed and waking up at similar times, reducing exposure to bright light before bedtime, and avoiding stimulants at night can help maximize the results. However, although magnesium is considered a safe supplement for most people, there is a group that needs special attention. Who needs to be careful? If you have kidney disease or have already been diagnosed with kidney failure, it is essential to talk with your doctor before starting any magnesium supplementation. This happens because the kidneys are responsible for removing excess amounts of this mineral from the body. When kidney function is impaired, magnesium can build up in the blood and increase the risk of complications. In the same way, People who take medications regularly, have chronic health conditions, or are under medical supervision should inform their healthcare professional before starting any supplement. This guidance helps evaluate possible interactions, adjust dosages when necessary, and ensure that supplementation is appropriate for each individual situation. For most healthy people, magnesium glycinate is generally well tolerated when used correctly. Even so, conscious and informed use is always the best approach. And now that you know what can interfere with the results, how to use it correctly, and what precautions should be considered, let's review the main points of this video so you know exactly what you can start putting into practice today. After everything we have discussed, it becomes much easier to understand why magnesium has been receiving so much attention when it comes to sleep quality. Throughout this video, we learned that magnesium participates in important processes within the nervous system and may help create a state that is more favorable for rest. When a deficiency of this mineral exists and is properly addressed, some people report benefits such as falling asleep more easily, experiencing fewer nighttime awakenings, and achieving deeper, more restorative sleep. We also learned that magnesium contributes to the balance of mechanisms related to nervous system relaxation and the normal function of cortisol, a hormone that naturally needs to decrease at night to allow the body to rest. But perhaps the greatest benefit is not simply sleeping more hours, it is waking up the next day feeling that you truly rested. Higher quality sleep can lead to greater energy, improved concentration, more motivation to complete daily activities, and an overall greater sense of well-being. It is important to remember that magnesium is not a miracle solution. It is part of a larger picture that includes a balanced diet, healthy sleep habits, physical activity, and medical guidance when necessary. When these habits work together, the chances of improving quality of life tend to be much greater. If you often wake up several times during the night, perhaps it is time to look at this problem from a different perspective. Many people believe this happens only because of age or anxiety. While these factors can certainly influence sleep, they do not explain every situation. As we have seen throughout this video, a silent nutritional deficiency may also be involved. The body depends on various nutrients to function properly, and magnesium is one of them. When magnesium levels are inadequate, the nervous system may have greater difficulty entering and maintaining the relaxed state necessary for continuous and restorative sleep. That is why, if you suspect this may be your situation, talk with a healthcare professional. They can evaluate your individual circumstances and guide you toward the best approach. When used correctly, according to recommendations, and respecting each person's individual needs, magnesium glycinate can be a useful tool for those looking to improve sleep quality. The good news is that in many cases, small changes made consistently can create significant results over time. If this video helped you better understand why so many people wake up in the middle of the night, share it right now with a family member or with that friend who is always saying they cannot sleep through the night. Sometimes a simple piece of information can make a huge difference in the quality of life of someone who has been struggling silently. And now I want to hear from you. Write in the comments below. Do you usually wake up during the night? What time does it happen most often? 2, 3, or 4 in the morning? I will be reading the comments and responding whenever possible. If you enjoyed this content, leave a like. This helps YouTube share this video with more people who are also experiencing sleep difficulties. And if you're not yet part of our community, take a moment to subscribe to the Healthy Naturally channel and turn on the notification bell. Every week, we publish videos with science-based information about health, nutrition, longevity, and wellness, always presented in a clear, practical, and easy-to-understand way. Thank you so much for watching until the end. May God bless you and your family. Take care of your health, take care of your sleep, and I will see you in the next video.